Okay, in the next queries video, we're going to look at the different queries you need within your database. First of all, we'll start with query 7-day reminder. Okay, now this query is a list of customers that CT Productions need to phone to remind them that they have to pay 7 days in advance of their booking. Now at the moment this query is empty, there's no information in it, but we can see we've got the company name, the title of the person to contact, that person's first name, their surname and their telephone number, as well as the balance due, the date in which they must be called, and some information here to mark off if it's been completed, paid, cancelled, so that it can then be updated. Okay. Now there's no data here at the moment, and the reason there's no data is because we haven't got anybody to be reminded on today's date. We'll find that under productions schedule. Okay. And let's have a look. Let's take this one here. Okay, if I change the performance date to it's the 8th there, so that was yesterday's date. If I change that to the 16th, okay, we should see that that now updates to today's date, which is the 9th of February. Okay, so I'll save that table. Okay, and I'll close the table and I'll close the query. Now this time when I run the query, we should see that record appear. Yes, there it is. So I can see the BBC. The title, Tony Hall, okay, we haven't got a telephone number in there, but the balance due and the call date is today. Okay, so that's how the query works. So let's go into design view and see how we build it. Okay, so looking at the query in design view, let's just pull this down here a little bit so we can see the tables that we've got and the relationships between those tables. There we are. Okay, so we've got company name from the customers table, we've got contact title from the customers table, we've got contact first name from the customers table, we've got contact surname from the customers table, and we've got telephone number all from the customers table. Next, we've got the balance due. Okay, that's from the productions table, this one here. Okay, we'll come back to this in a second. We've also got balance paid from the production schedule and booking cancelled from the production schedule. Okay, so next we're going to add the different criteria to this query. So as I showed you in the lesson, we can filter the query based on yes or no, or true or false, or various other criteria. The first one we're going to add is the reminder date. That makes the query look for today's date. Okay, so for criteria, for reminder date, if you type the word date followed by an open then a closed bracket, just the ordinary round brackets. Okay, so we'll put date, open bracket and close brackets. Then under balance paid, type no, or you can type false. Okay, and that's then looking for customers who haven't paid the balance. Okay, and also for booking cancelled, click on no, choose no, sorry. Okay, so quick recap, we've got company name, contact title, first name, surname, telephone number, balance due. Okay, these here are from the customers table. Balance due was from the productions table. Don't worry about this one for now, that was an alternative way of doing the reminder date, but the reminder date is, the way I've done it this way is simpler. Okay, reminder date is from the production schedule table, and the criteria is date, open bracket, close bracket. Balance paid from production schedule, and the criteria is no, and booking cancelled from the production schedule, and the criteria is no. Okay, so we can save that query and run it, and back to where we were in the data view, where we can see the BBC, Mr. Tony Hall, balance due £1,750, and the call date is today. So the person who's using the database now, the employee, I suppose, of CT Productions, can run this query. They would have a phone number in there if I'd have put that data in, and they could then phone these customers and either request the balance and have it paid, or mark the booking as cancelled. Right, now you've seen this query, you can have a go at creating the 7-day reminder for yourself. Okay, the next query, we've already covered this one in tutorial 1, in video 1 for queries, but just to remind you, it's query invoice, and this query finds out a list of customers who we need to send an invoice to. Okay, I'm not going to run through this one now because we've already covered that one in video 1, so if you haven't done query invoice, go back and see video 1 for how to do that one. Okay, so the next query we'll look at is available performers. Okay, if we open that one up, first of all we can see the data, so we've got the performer title, their first name, their surname, their gender, and whether they've been employed or are available as well. Okay, so that's the data we're going to pull out through the query. If we go into design view, okay, we can have a look at how the query's been built. Okay, so it's just one table, okay, table performers, and we're looking for performer title, first name, surname, gender, employed, available, and date of birth. Okay, so a nice easy query to create that one. Right, so have a go at creating that query now. Just a reminder from video 1 really, that at the moment I'm showing you the queries that I've created and I'm showing them you in design view, but to actually create the queries, remember to go to query wizard. Okay, we'll have to save that one. Okay, simple query wizard. Then we choose simple query wizard, click on OK. This is where you choose the table or the query that you want to get your information from. So in this case it was performers, so table performers, and then I choose the information I want. So I've got the title, I've got the first name, I've got the surname, I've got the gender, whether they are employed, and if they're available. There we are. Click on next, okay, and next again. Give it a name. Remember it's a query, so we'll start QRY, and I'll call that performers 2. Click on finish, and there's my query recreated again. Okay. Right, the next query we'll look at is query bookings. Okay, so we open up this one. This is actually what they call a parameter query. Okay, where we specify the information that we're after from a field from the database. So, which location? I will type Cardiff. Okay, and then when I click on OK, I should see the performances which have been scheduled in Cardiff. Yep, there's that one there. Okay, so I've got Peter Pan. It's in Cardiff. The performance date is the 6th of the 1st, 2015. It's a morning production, and it's an available booking because it's not been booked and it's not been assigned to a customer. If we have a look at how this query has been created, we'll go to the Home tab and change our view into Design View. Okay, we'll drop that down a little bit and open up this table. There we are. Okay, so we can see that we're working solely with the productions schedule table, and in this query we've got the schedule ID, we've got the performance, and we've got the location. Okay, now in this row here under criteria, okay, for location, if you type in there open bracket, these are square brackets, okay, which location closed with a square bracket, that's the text that you saw appear when I opened the query. We've also got performance date, we've got AM or PM, okay, but, okay, now we need to put the criteria for this one to no, okay. If it was yes, that would give us a list of all available bookings, so if we wanted to create a query to see all the bookings, we would change that to yes or true. But with this query we're looking for the available bookings performances which have not been booked, so therefore we've got no or false. And finally the customer name as well, okay. This one also comes from the production schedule. Okay, so quickly let's just have another demo with this one. So if I change that to no, okay, if I change it to yes, sorry, okay, this will now give us all the queries which have been booked. So if I save it and run it, okay, which location? Cardiff. Okay, so I can see that Oliver Twist in Cardiff and the Wizard of Oz, performance dates, and you can see how the data set has changed and they've both been booked, and there's the customers. Okay, but I don't want to leave it like that, so I'm going to go back to design view. I'm going to change booked back to no or false. Okay, I'm going to save and I'm going to run it to take us back to the data we had originally. Okay, there it is, Peter Pan in Cardiff. So that performance is available for booking. Okay, so we'll drop back into design view, have a look at the structure of that query, and you can go ahead now and create your own booking query. Okay, the last query we need to look at is the Backstage pass query. So if we open up this one, this is a list of performers, and we'll use this query to produce a pass so they can get to the back of the stage as per the spec. Okay, so we've got performer title, first name, surname, gender, they've been employed, and the production to which they've been assigned. Okay, so there's the data that we're pulling back out. If we drop into design view, okay, let's just put this so we can see it a bit better. There we are. Now again, the information for this query all comes from one table. It's table performers. Okay, and in this query we've got performer title, we've got first name, we've got surname, we've got gender, we've got employed, and we've got the production to which they've been assigned. Okay, note in the criteria for employed, we've got yes. Okay, so we change the criteria there to yes or to true. Okay, so when I run the query, you can see the data that's come out, and all these employees, all these performers have been employed. Okay, so there's a query, there's a design. You can go ahead now and create your own query for query Backstage pass. Okay, so I've walked you through creating some of these queries. Okay, we've got the, just to recap, we've got the 7-day reminder, we've got the invoice, we've got available performers, we've got query bookings, and we've got the Backstage pass as well. Okay, so you'll need to create some of your own queries. Have a look at the data that you've got and think what would be useful. Look at the spec. What information do I need to get out of the database? Okay, and create some queries to get that information from the database. Okay, so you can have a go now at creating all these queries for your database.